Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. So in last video we have done some improvements to improve our code and fix some basic things, right? So right now we'll add some edit transaction. Okay, we'll add a edit transaction feature in our current video, and in the next video we'll go with our edit category. Okay, and after that we'll finalize our application if we need like some sort of improvements, or if you suggest anything like this should be implemented in our app, so we'll go with that one also. And we'll end this project and we'll start with a new project. Okay, so let's continue. So here we can see that these are our transaction list, right? So there is no option for edit transaction, right? uh, okay, so now what I'll do here is I'll create a pop menu button here. Let me just go to my transaction list. Okay, so here I have a list view builder and we have a list style. Okay, let me move this to a particular widget custom transaction tile. Okay, and so uh we need required add string title, required string date, required. Why I'm adding this much? Because required why I'm like adding the required and nullable also, because if I'll pass the null value, then maybe I'll forgot to add that value or forgot to pass the value in that function. That's why I have added the required parameter also, but the values can be nullable, so I have added that also, right? So now we can just pass here our function. I mean, we can call it we can call it here. Okay, and now we can just pass with our title and just I'll cut title. We can have a title and item dot date, cut date, and we have amount fee, and yep. Okay, and also we have a transaction type. Transaction type, I'll make it nullable. Okay, so pay, and yeah. Okay, so we have to just there's left. Okay, this is quick fix, and we will just do a format document as well. Yeah, now it will be easy to modify this code, right? So now what I'll do here is we have added here the amount here, right? So what we can do here, uh we can add a pop menu button. So if I'll add it here in the row, right? Not we can either do, we can just click on it and it will have a bottom sheet, can have a just click on it, and user can just have a bottom sheet to either edit, delete, or uh, whatever he want to do, right? We can give two options, edit and delete. So let me just give a on tap here, on tap, and okay, and we can have a on tap, and we can have a bottom sheet here. We have a custom bottom sheet. Let me find bottom filter, bottom sheet, and show modal bottom sheet. Okay, close, and it is not a okay. Let me make it as custom bottom sheet. We can just make it 1 second where it is used. It is live components. Okay, so we can have a custom bottom sheet function here. Okay, and we can just have arguments as named arguments because we have many parameters here. Required, and we can have a p required bool. Okay, let me pass it here, and we can have a p. We can just remove this, and we can make it as true here. Bool true. I think there is nothing wrong. It should be formatted, yeah. Okay. So now we can fix it here. Okay, we are already using it. So you mean to say, okay, we need to just pass it here as context child is decimal false, right? And we can have a just bool in second required build context parent context. Okay, so we can have a context and parent context, and I'll just pass it here as text. Okay, next we have is decimal will be true, scroll control 2. Now we have to pass here a child. Okay, let me see where it. Okay, so let me just create one file UI, and we have a new file uh, transaction options. Okay, and we can have import material. We can have a just material dot, and we can have a stateless class which has a transaction options filter bottom sheet. Copy, and just I'll paste it here. Quick fix import, and yeah, I'll just okay. I think I forgot to add a transaction here. Right, install. Okay, so now we can just have, let me check. Okay, I'll have to, I think what. Okay, let me just use some code here. We have a consumer widget. Okay, I think we don't need here consumer widget because we have a edit and delete that will be a pop, right? So I think we don't need, and we can have a just single child scroll view. Child, we have a column which have children, and we have a main exercise dot min. cross access element will be an start, right? And we can have a just list style. Two list styles will add. What's the issue? Yeah, we'll okay, we'll see it. We'll go through it. Let me just hot restart it. Uh, Lego console. Okay, I forgot. Okay, we have a custom context. False. So we can have a just hot restart. And yeah. Now if I'll just click on it and just click. Okay, so we have some bottom sheet here. It should be. It should dismissible. Okay, I think this is the issue with this one also, or not. Okay, we can have a just restart it. Okay, now what we'll do here. Uh, I have added here, added, delete, and everything, right? Edit, it will be a draggable and everything, right? So we can just have a title, we have a text, we have edit, okay, and we have a we can add a leading as icons dot edit, and we have an on tab here. Copy, just paste it here as delete, and delete. So we have added and delete. I forgot to add a padding here. Okay, why it is not able to clickable? I have added here by default as true. I guess I forgot something like use safe area as true and enable drag. Okay, copy and we can have a paste. Copy and paste. Alls. Copy. Or we can have a true. Okay, so let me just check with it. Alls. Copy. Close. Reset and it is not okay. I'll see. Okay, I'll see what's so close and custom bottom sheet, and here we also have to pass the data. Close final transaction model. Copy the required this tab. So we don't need this, we just need this, and we can have our transaction model here, right? Now we can just have a copy. Next we have item dot nodes. Next we have item dot date. Copy. Second. Yeah, copy, and we have date. Where is our date? Yeah. Okay. So at last we have item dot amount. Copy. Now we are left with our this one. So let me just cut it and just paste it here. Copy, paste, paste. Okay. And now we can just have a transaction model as item. Now we are good to go with it. Perfect. And okay, now we don't have anything like that, and we can have a box constraint. Box constraint, we can have max height, context dot. Okay, I didn't add anything. Media query dot off dot size dot height 0.7, right? Format document. So now okay, we can just check it. Okay, reset. Yep. Oh, not this one. Okay. So now we are here, right? Options bottom sheet, and we have an added, we have a delete. So now we are navigator dot push context, and we have a create transaction page dot root. We don't have anything. Okay. Do I have a create? Where is my create transaction? Let me check. Wait. Transaction provider. Not this one. Do I just check with? Okay. So you mean to? Okay. So no, we have. Okay. So we can. You mean to say we can pass it, right? Okay. So okay. So I have to create one transaction model. Copy. See where is our okay final. transaction model. This dot copy. Okay, so we can just pass it our format document, and okay, so we can have a edit. Now what we will do here, we can just go to our transaction provider. We have to go, right, not this one, transaction provider. Yes, so here we already used it, I guess, and where we have a create transaction. Yeah, so we didn't added any edit. We have an edit transaction, or okay, so let me just I'll just copy here and just create a function as edit transaction, and I'll pass it here id as transaction.id. Okay, close. No, not where where I'm putting it. I'm putting it in a state. Okay, state dot. I think we don't need to put it in a state. We don't need to put it in a, because we are not using it much. We got a parameter of, yeah, close. We don't need it. I'll just make a transaction. Okay, and just put it as wherever I have. So we don't have a, so where I haven't, okay, I haven't used it. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Copy. If not equal to null, then we'll just define it here. Format document. Now what we have fields here, we have to define, okay, nodes controller, not this one, transaction name controller. Yeah, transaction name controller dot text is equal to copy paste dot, and even if I'm not wrong, we can have a have a transaction ID only. We don't need the whole data, I suppose. Okay. Next we have a date. Okay. I guess we have functions of these. Wait. Let me just where we can have a date. Select not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. We'll have a get transaction, not this one, get transaction, get transactions. We select calendar month, not this one. Select transaction type, select transaction date. Yeah, select transaction date, transaction dot. Okay, so we can have a just date time. Try parse. Copy. If is not equal to me. Format document. Okay. Same, we'll go with our amount we don't need, but we need the category selection and the transaction type. Okay. Transaction type dot item. Right. Transaction dot type. But we are storing 1 or 0, right? So what we will do here, transaction type dot values dot item dot element at this one, right? Now we are left with type date and we have a category now. Category ID, select category. We have a okay. One second, let me just remove this one. Remove this bracket. Category ID. This one. Okay. So yeah. I guess we are done with it. So let me try to use it. Let me just hot restart it and check it. We can have a format document and save. We will format it later. See, I'll have this code here. Final selected date. Okay, and we can use this one. Same thing we'll do here. Okay, so we don't need anything. Final selected transaction type, and we can have a cut, and same thing we'll do here with category ID. Final selected category ID, cut. Okay, don't need to pass here, and we can just use it here. Dot initial. Okay, this is the initial transaction. Okay, so we have to, okay, to modify this code. We'll create function void edit transaction, update values from and we have this one, and we'll just modify this, and we'll call it. Okay, and I'll just make it as format document. Okay, and what I'll do here is we can just cut it here and paste it here. Okay, so we can have a format document, and rather than this we have this and we have this. Okay, copy this one, argument transaction. Okay, we don't have any issues. Okay, and now what we'll do here is copy, and whether, yeah, now we'll do here, if okay, so we have to add this this in our here also, so we can just modify our values. Where is our transaction? Okay, we have a provider here. And now here we'll have a, if we can add that condition is here only. Provider dot, okay, government document, and okay, and we can update our values, right? So already I have, and let me put it as initial state dot transaction state dot exec. We have a set to initial state here, so we can have an edit and see here. You can see amount is not added there. Let me see what a bill. Okay, let me modify it where I haven't. Okay, I haven't had it amount. Okay, I'll modify this. I want to modify this code to put it in uh, void update dashboard values. Okay, so where is that? Copy. Okay, and we can just have a, can just update all these values to here and just go to initial and just remove it. Why we should have these things? Page meta. Okay, and we can have a copy, and we will use our, yeah, government document. So I have simplified this code, so we have as much as we can ignore these things. uh 1 second. Okay, online chart. Ah, okay, so we have to do some modification. We can just add a condition here, okay? If equal to nil. Otherwise it will not render it, right? Now this one also copy, not equal to null. Copy, not equal to null. Format document. Now we can just give a hot restart and let's see the behavior. Okay, I didn't find any issue because there is no asynchronous options that makes the user waiting, right? Edit we have. Okay, now we can just click on anything and we can just add it, and yeah, we can add. Now the last thing is we are pending with this one, right? So what we will do here is, okay, this one is working, not this one, sorry. When I click on plus, it is working, okay. So I think there is something that I forgot. Okay, got it. Pop scope. This is the issue. Okay, save. Now check. See, this is the main issue. Okay, so now we are ready with that. So we have now, if I just click on it, edit. Now we have the category issue only left. Okay, so what we will do here, will use our category provider to find the category. Okay, create category, create transaction body will go, and now we'll find, we have to find the category. Let me, okay, we got the category ID, but did we find the category list? Wait, let me just check. Select category. Yeah. So when I just click on it, it will just update. Okay, update selected category. I got some category and I have used that provider. Okay, got the thing. So do I have a? Let me try category provider dot. Okay, we have a get categories only. Okay, let me find out future void get category asynchronous int category ID final response equal to await. Now database helper dot get. Okay, I haven't created even. Okay, so we have to define here get category and category ID. Okay, okay, and we have a database helper implementation, and we can just copy this code, copy and just paste it here like this, and we'll have a copy. Yeah, this one. But wait, let me just it will have a this one. Okay, now I'll just close it and we don't have to do this thing actually. Cut and we can have a final data is equal to if copy is not empty, then we can have it no category exists with the and yes, we have a left. We get category option. Okay, we can have a category model dot from JSON data dot first format document. Okay, we can have a e state with we have loading, right? So we can have a loader here. Copy, paste. Format document. And okay, so now we can have that category provider dot argument transaction dot category. Okay, and we can show some loader here. Suffix uh, category provider dot. Okay, we can have a category state also here. State const, and then we have a circular progress indicator, else null. Okay, and we can just have a format document. We can modify it also. Cut, and we can just avoid it as no. If you just check on it and see, there is no issue with that. Yeah. So what we can do here is we can have a rather than passing here, we can pass here because it is not dependent. That's why. Okay. So if I'll just, or we can just have a hot restart. Okay. So you can see here we have everything is perfectly fine. If I'll just click on edit, so it is showing here. Okay. Let me just modify it. Okay. Wrap up with size box, height. Okay. 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 Or we can have a padding. I guess now it's fine, right? Format document, and yeah. So we can just give a hot restart and check. We have to do one more thing here. If we just fetch the category, we have to check if we got the data, then we need to use it in our transaction also. So did we define it? Okay, I haven't added here. Reference dot listen. Category state. Format document. If we don't need previous, right? If next dot category is not equal to null, we can just update, right? So rather than writing code here, cut We can have a format document. Okay, so this is the issue here. That is the thing. Hmm. Create transaction body. So if I'll just edit it, see, copy is not equal to if format document. See, now it's working fine. Now I have to, let me define the delete option as well. Wait, let me define, uh, but firstly let me see what is the issue with our edit transaction issue. Edit transaction. This is okay. So we have changed this one. We have done edit, and I'll just click on submit. Okay, got it. We didn't change. We just copy paste instead of we have to edit transaction. Can have this edit transaction. At the end, we have a submit button, right? So if this else provider dot edit transaction format document. Okay, great. Conflict algorithm. I have to replace to remove it. One second. Why it is okay? I have to pass here where arguments. Copy, paste. Okay, that category. Same thing. Copy and paste. That's why it just okay. That's why where is important. That's why I don't like database management because I just mistakenly just delete all the data. That's why I don't like it. Let me update it, submit, and yeah, now it's working fine. So now at last we are left with our delete one, right?